In this video, we're going to look at one-to-many relationships and how they work inside of Ruby on Rails and how we set up the models. In our little Movie Critic web application that we've been working along on, we're going to have two tables in there, comments and critics, that work together in a one-to-many relationship where we have critics and comments, and a given critic will have multiple comments on different movies. We'll look at the movie and comments relationship in a later video. In this video, we're going to concentrate on the critics to comments relationship. So a critic will have multiple comments. That relationship is established through the foreign key of critic_ID located in the comments table, and this is important to recognize this. So let's go take a look at our database first. Here's our critic table, and again, it's pretty simple, just a primary key of ID, first name, last name, and an email address. And here's our comment table. Again, primary key, the comment made, it's a pretty big varchar, it created at and it updated at. Remember, these are kind of gimme fields by Ruby on Rails. If you put these in your table, when this object is actually saved into the table by Rails, it'll automatically timestamp these for you. So we need to add the foreign key, so we're going to add critic ID, and it's an int, and we'll save this out. And again, you can use whatever tool you need to get into your database, including the command line. I'm just more comfortable using this. Now at this point, if we go and look, I don't have a model for my comments yet. I wanted to show you quickly again how to generate that. I did cover this in earlier videos, but I'll do it again. So we're going to say script generate model, and our model name is comment. Again, remember, the model is a Ruby class, so it's going to be a capitalized, and it'll be singular form. That's the Rails convention of our table name, which is comments. So it should be comment. Go ahead and generate it. And let's go take a look in our text editor now. And here's our comment model, and here's our critic model. And they're very simple class declarations of active record base. Now we need to establish the relationship between them. If we go back to this model, we're going to use the same method call on this side in this model that we used in the one-to-one, where it is a belongs to, so that we establish the relationship going this way. So we were familiar with that method call. The method that we're going to introduce on this side for the many part of it is the has_many method call. So let's go ahead and enter those real quick here. So on our comment, it's essentially going to be the same, belongs_to, and then our table name, which is critic, and it's singular, so it's belongs to, singular in nature, and our symbol critic. Again, remember, this is just a method call with an argument being passed in. Go ahead and save that. Now critic, this is where we're going to use that has many. Now, has many implies that whatever follows this is going to be plural. So you need to keep that in mind, that it's comments. And this makes a difference of how we use this also. So has many, and then the symbol of comments, because it's plural. So now that we have these saved, let's go over here into our command line and start our console. Come up here in a second. Let's go ahead and create a critic. We do critic.new, and I'm just going to give them a last name for the moment, and I'm using tab completion in there to get that name to come in there. So we'll say last name equal, and we'll just give my name, and let's save it out real quick. So there we have it. It's saved. Now let's create a new comment. So we'll say comment equal comment.new, and then a comment equal this was a good movie. Now hopefully this commenter will make better comments than I have here for real, but now at this point we could actually save this out, and as we did before, but the better way to do it, and how it actually is going to work inside of Ruby on Rails in the actual web application when we look at the code inside of a controller, is that we're going to say a critic, and we're going to assign this to there, and notice the difference in how we're using this. We're saying .comments, So it's got to match up. You see, dot comments up here has many comments, and instead of an equal, we're using these two lesser than signs, which because this is a list essentially of comments that we're adding to here. So we'll go ahead and use this to assign it. We enter it. Now, if we go and look, I didn't save that comment. You didn't see me do a comment save anywhere. But if we look inside of our database, there's the comment that I just made. So now I can actually say a comment dot critic dot last name, and it should return my last name. There's how one-to-many relationships work inside of Ruby on Rails. In later videos in the controllers, we'll get more in depth how you actually do this for your web views.